Your duty, baby. Not mine. Unless we're all in this together, we will fail. Convince me then. Why should I care what happened on 9/11? Why is it my duty to know what really happened? September 11th was the most absurd day of all time.
I've often thought that.
The masses were inundated with hordes of information, all of it pointing to this shadowy terrorist network and its maniacal supervillain Osama bin Laden. Within hours, it seemed as if the government had solved the crime without even gathering any evidence.
It did seem a bit forced, I'll grant you.
Oh, preach on, brother Foe Man! Yeah! There's so many questions.
So few answers.
And what caused those buildings to collapse?
The official version says the fires from the burning jet fuel caused the collapses of the Twin Towers.
But can anybody... Not you. But can anybody prove that? Engineers and scientists have proven it with physics. And other engineers and scientists have proven with physics that that didn't happen. What do you mean? Engineers from MIT, from NJIT, from the American Society of Civil Engineers all say the buildings collapsed from the fire. See? There you go. Who are you? Many other engineers and scientists all say the fires could not have caused the collapses. But this is physics. It's math. It's not up for debate. It is if you don't have all the information. No one knows how hot the fires burned, how wide or fast the fires spread, how long the jet fuel burned, or even what they don't need to know. They have the designs of the buildings, which of course have never been released to the public. And they can make a very well-educated guess. And that's not proof. So why is the official story being shopped around as the official truth? Because no one can prove it's wrong. So it's a universal negative? That's hardly a reason to go to war. Okay. Give me another way those buildings could have come down. Could have been a controlled demolition.
It certainly looked like controlled demolitions.
And if you look at some angles of replays of the Twin Towers falling, you can actually see squibs where explosive charges are going off. Those could just be latent explosions from the interior buckling of the buildings. The point is, it can't be proven with physics. You know, one person can argue and prove mathematically that one thing happened, while another person can argue and prove the exact opposite. Without the basic tools needed for understanding what was happening inside each building, it is impossible to prove anything. And with absolutely no proof, this government's reaction to 9/11 is essentially been one huge, gigantic hate crime against Muslims. That's because it was first a hate crime against us. Go back to Skull and Bones, you neocon, Republican, Nazi, fascist, Zionist, Satanist piece of shit. Shut up, both of you, okay? Focus. There's one anomaly I've yet to mention here.
Which is?
Never in the history of construction has a single skyscraper ever collapsed due to fire.
Never?
Not once. So 9/11 was an historic day for controlled demolitions experts. Now you don't even need the explosives. You can just crash a plane right into the building and let the collapse take care of itself.
You're right. It's a bit convenient that 3 buildings fell from fire on the same day when it had never happened before in history.
Which brings me to Building 7. For reasons that have never adequately been explained, World Trade Center Building Number 7 collapsed at 5 p.m. that afternoon.
Something's always bothered me about that.
It was the strangest thing, and no one ever talks about it. Building 7 was not hit by a plane. But there were fires raging on floors 8, 11, 12, 13, and 18. Those floors in order were the American Express Bank, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Standard Chartered Bank, and Citigroup.
Those are 4 financial institutions. Is that a coincidence?
There's no such thing as a coincidence. So what? So all the floors on fire had to do with money. Big deal. No, that building also had the offices of the Secret Service and the IRS and the clandestine home to the New York branch of the CIA. I mean, imagine what kind of incriminating evidence went down in those buildings. Incriminating? How? That branch of the CIA was the headquarters for the joint FBI-CIA investigation into Al-Qaeda. Standard Chartered Bank was used by Omar Sheikh Saeed to wire $100,000 to hijacker Mohammed Atta. Those offices of the SEC were ground zero for preemptive investigation into pre-9/11 insider trading. Oh, and you think they didn't recover all that information? According to officials from the SEC, most of those cases were either scrapped or postponed for a great length of time. Okay. So what about the investigation into Al-Qaeda? That was being headed by FBI agent John ONeill.
Which brings us back to your original question. Who killed John ONeill? And why?
I can't answer that yet. You destroy all of this. Destroy what? This! All of this! We have the power to change things. The only group capable of stopping the United States government is the people of the United States. There are several reasons 9/11 was allowed to happen. Allowed to happen by whom? By our government. Why would the United States government allow the 9/11 attacks to occur? It is the oldest trick in the book. You hit your own headquarters, blame it on someone else, and then start a war with the people you framed. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem. Radical Islamic groups have attacked the United States and claim they want to destroy all Western civilization. Reaction! War must be waged against those you are afraid, and security must be expanded at home. Solution? No more terrorist attacks. Very informative. I can play along too. I can't. Wait, I've got one. Wait. Problem. You're both pissing me off.